In today's video, I would like to present a presentation, but before that, let me introduce myself. I am Ferdinand Purba from the IUP batch 2024. Today, I would like to present my analysis of the article entitled Public Information Disclosures and also the Adaptive Governance and Emerging Market Case. This presentation discusses the relationship between public information transparency and the quality of public services, as well as the challenges and recommendations identified in the article. The second slide is explaining Okay, so the second slide is explaining the background and also the article overview. Before discussing the article, it is important to understand that public service is one of the government's main responsibilities. To provide good public services, government institutions must apply transparency and public information disclosure. Transparency allows citizens to access information about government policies, programs, and also services. It also enables the public to monitor government performance and to hold public officials accountable. The article that I analyzed focused on South Sumatra Province, Indonesia. The objective of the research is to analyze how public information's disclosure is implemented, identify existing challenges, and propose strategies to strengthen the adaptive governance. The authors used a qualitative research approach to understand these issues in depth. Okay, in the third slide. Okay, brief summary of the article. Actually, the article concludes that public information disclosure plays a very important role in improving government performance. According to the study, transparency helps governments be more responsive, accountable, and also adaptable to public needs. The article also explains why information transparency is important. First, it allows citizens to access government information. Second, it helps people to understand procedures and also requirements for public services. Third, it enables citizens to monitor government performance. And finally, it encourages people to public ser- it sorry and finally, it encourages public participation in decision-making processes. And for these reasons, transparency is considered one of the foundations of good governance. The fourth slide, the relationship between public services and also transparency. The article highlights a strong relationship between transparency and public services quality. When information is openly available, citizens can clearly understand services, procedures, requirements, and also the regulations. As a result, uncertainty and confusion can be reduced. Transparency also increases the accountability of public officials because their actions can be monitored by a public. In addition, citizens become more involved in government processes and develop greater trust in public institutions. Without transparency, people may face difficulties accessing services and evaluating whether government institutions are performing effectively. Okay, so actually the five slide is like my analysis and also personal thinking. So in this one, in my analysis, transparency itself should not be viewed merely as compliance with legal requirements. Rather, it functions as a mechanism that directly influences the effectiveness of public services. For example, when informations regarding procedures, administrative requirement costs and also processing times in public available, citizens can access services more efficiently and are less dependent on individual officials for informations. From a public administration perspective, transparency also creates accountability. Public officials become more careful and exercising their authority because their action can be monitored and evaluated by citizens. Moreover, transparency reduces information asymmetry between the government and also the public. When citizens possess adequate informations, they are better able to exercise their rights, submit complaints, and also participate in policy implementation. Sorry. Therefore, I believe that transparency is not simply about making information available, but also about empowering citizens and improving the overall quality of the governments and also public services delivery. Okay, there are actually some challenges and to identify in the article. Although transparency provides like many benefits, and in the article identifies several challenges. The first challenge is resistance within government institutions. Some officials may be reluctant to share information openly, and the second one is the challenge is the limited integration of information system, which can make information difficult to access. The third one is challenge is unequal and access by digital technology. Well, this actually explains that not all citizens have the same access to the internet services and also digital devices. And finally, digital literacy remains relatively low among some members of society. Okay, so to the recommendation and also personal reflections, I personally think to strengthen the public services through transparency, we should improve digital information system, increase, and also the second one is also increase the public access to informations. Next one is strengthen the role of information officers. Next one is promote citizen engagement and also enhance the digital literacy program. And my personal reflection is that I personally agree with the article arguments that transparency is essential for the quality public services. In here, I stated that citizens cannot fully benefit from public services if they do not have access to accurate and the timely informations. For this reason, government should prioritize transparency as a part of the service improvement efforts. Okay, in conclusion, actually, this article demonstrates that the public informations itself and public services are closely connected. Greater transparency leads to better accountability, increased public trust, more effective service delivery, and also stronger citizen participation. Therefore, improving public information disclosure is an important step toward improving public services. Alright, maybe that's all from me, Ferdinando Purba. Thank you so much for listening.